Here is everything that you need to know about Chanel's new quota bag system. So, the term quota system essentially means like a limit on handbags that you can buy from a particular brand. It kind of started with Hermes, how they've got, their few quota bags, their Birkins, their Kellys, and their Constances, where a user is essentially limited in terms of number of those bags that they can buy per year. Hermes only allows for most of the general population a person to buy 2 quota bags or Birkins, Kellys, and Constances per year. And now it seems as though Chanel has adopted a similar type of policy. So, first things first, this policy is only in effect in the United States. It is not in effect in Europe, it's not in APAC, it is not anywhere else. It is currently only in the United States. Now, with that said, I would be really surprised if Chanel did not decide to eventually roll this same policy out to the rest of the world, because it doesn't really make sense that they would have such a restrictive policy in one area and not in their other markets, especially considering the fact that Chanel has been talking a lot about price harmonization and having a consistent customer experience no matter where you're shopping with the brand, especially because a lot of Chanel shoppers, shop in different markets. So I'd be really surprised if it stayed only in the US. This is likely a pilot in the US and soon will be rolled out to additional markets. Next thing is that this policy went into effect on June 7th, 2022. So what does the policy entail? It says that for any given calendar year, so starting on January 1st and ending on December 31st, any person can only buy 2 classic bags per year. That's it. So this is not classic flaps, this is classic bags. So this also includes reissues, your Chanel 19, even like the little classic flap with top handle. Any type of what Chanel considers to be one of their classic bags, you can now only purchase 2 of per year. Also, something important to keep in mind is that in terms of all of the bags that are included, many classic flaps that are not classic flaps are also included. A lot of people don't consider, the classic square and the classic rectangular flaps as being, classic bags, but in terms of this policy, they're part of the limit. And this is really interesting because last year, Chanel rolled out a policy that limited the total number of handbags that anyone can buy to 12 per year. So Chanel is really trying to limit the distribution of their handbags, which is interesting because I don't know that many people that buy more than 12 bags a year, but I guess there are some out there. Now, in terms of the policy and like the classic bags, it doesn't really discriminate based on color or size or anything like that. So if you buy, for instance, like a Chanel classic flap in black in the small size, and you buy a reissue in blue in, the 226 size, that's it. You're done for the year. It doesn't really matter what type of bag you buy. A really big thing that I think is super interesting about this policy is also that Chanel is retro dating it. So they are retroactively implementing this policy back to the beginning of 2022. So if you've already purchased 2 classic bags per year, unfortunately, that means you're done for the year. Now, with that, I've got to say that just like in Hermes, I am sure that there are a lot of exceptions to this rule for VIP customers. I mean, listen, we even see it like just on YouTube that there are plenty of folks that get more than 2 quota bags per year. And so I highly doubt that Chanel is going to like turn down like Kylie Jenner or like a top celebrity or just one of their top spending clients. Now, I think that overall, this whole strategy really is in an effort for Chanel to help increase the number of customers that shop across their different brands. Like, they don't just want you to buy handbags, they want you to buy other things too. And so although this part is unofficial, it has been circulated in the rumor mill that kind of like how in order, like in most scenarios, to get offered a Birkin, Kelly, or Constance from Hermes, you've got to spend on other categories. It appears as though Chanel is going to start doing the same thing. I'm not sure to what extent. I'm not sure if like the purchasing, history versus the price of the bag is still gonna need to be one-to-one, just like it is in Hermes. If you want more details about like how to get a Birkin or Kelly from Hermes, I'll definitely link that video for you. But it's been rumored that in order to get offered some of these highly sought after bags from Chanel, you're gonna have to spend in other categories. They don't want folks just buying from their handbag collection. They want you to buy shoes. They want you to buy ready to wear. They want you to be a true raving fan of the Chanel brand, which I do think makes a lot of sense. And from a business perspective, whenever you can get a user to buy from more than one category, that customer's lifetime value or amount of money that they spend with you really does like skyrocket off the charts. So it actually is a smart move on Chanel's behalf. Now, you all can try to get crafty. You could try, maybe like using like your friend's profile or your mom or your husband's profile, and that might work for you. Because honestly, like at Chanel, I have more than one customer profile, not intentionally. It's because like my contact information got entered in different ways, but still accurate, and it takes them a long time to merge the profiles. So I have a feeling that there are still ways to like get around this system, especially if you go to a store where no one knows you. So don't worry, friends. If you are looking for more than 2 classic bags per year, all is not lost. Chances are, if you were to go to like a different market, like and a different continent, like you're on vacation, we know that like Chanel and Hermes' like technology and data systems, it's not like 100%. And so your customer profiles like might not even be linked. So they might not even know that you've met your quota for the year. So I do think that there are ways around this quota system, but officially that's what it is for us in the general population. Now, another area that folks have been talking about is that this policy is likely in an effort to help combat resellers. Those who go, buy out all the good bags as soon as they drop and immediately turn around and resell them for twice the price or something like that. Now, again, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with VIPs, and that I'm sure there are going to be a lot of exceptions because a lot of resellers are inherently VIPs. And a lot of resellers don't just buy bags, they also buy the highly sought after shoes, the highly sought after jewelry, the highly sought after ready to wear, and they resell that. So if I'm putting myself in the perspective of like a Chanel sales associate, and this policy is, one that I know I can make exceptions for certain types of VIPs, and if there's someone that is buying from all the categories, someone that I am making a lot of commission on, to be honest, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that I would then start turning them down for bags. Like, I'm probably still gonna sell them to them. So honestly, I have a feeling that this, although may deter some smaller resellers, I don't think it's gonna have much impact on like those big dog resellers that purchase from every category. So that is a major bummer. Now, in terms of like my thoughts on the policy, I'm not really like for it or against it, but I understand for folks who buy a lot of Chanel bags a year, this could be really frustrating. Like, I just don't really have the financial means to be buying like 9,000 Chanel bags a year. Last year, I did invest in quite a few Chanel bags, but that was honestly because of all the price increases. I was like, I just need to go ahead and kind of like front load my spending for the year. So I got way more bags than I normally would in a year. And like this year so far, I've only bought one. So for me, it's not really going to limit, my spending at Chanel, but that's also because due to all of Chanel's price increases, the bags are now kind of like out of reach for me. Or not out of reach for me. I don't necessarily think they're worth the price that's being charged, especially with all the quality issues that we've been hearing about from 2021 and 2022 collections. So for me personally, like, it doesn't have a big impact on my purchasing from the brand, but I know for a lot of you it might, and I feel for you that that's super frustrating. I don't think it's great because I don't think it's a good way of like combating resellers. And honestly, I think what Chanel needs to do, they need to work on their own like secondhand or vintage strategy. I feel like Chanel is like playing defense all the time in terms of all these resellers out there. And instead they need to get on the offensive. If they had their own type of like, vintage store program, I feel like they could have such a better handle on this whole issue with resellers and them reselling bags for such a high price point. But for whatever reason, it just seems like they're not willing to go there. Maybe it's like beneath them. Maybe it feels, something not super luxurious. But I mean, considering the fact that you have such good quality bags that can last, decades over time, I actually think that's the ultimate sign of luxury. Like being able to like score like a gorgeous like 1990s bag. Like that's actually like the pinnacle of luxury to me, but that's just my opinion. So overall, that's what you need to know about the Chanel Quota system. 2 classic bags per calendar year, regardless of size, color, and style. All the classics, that's all you're gonna get. What do you think on this quota system? Do you think it's gonna help combat resellers, or do you think it's just going to exacerbate the issue? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, so definitely let me know. And also, like, if your SAs have told you any additional information about the quota system, please, again, put it down in the comments because we would love to know. Now, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. And if you enjoyed it, I would love if you could just give this video a little like. Just give it a little thumbs up down in the corner below. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? You need to subscribe to my channel. So that way you can get all my latest content about all things shopping, including Chanel, delivered straight to you. Thanks again for watching. My name is Lily and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye everyone.